Okay, let's get one thing straight. We're not here to talk about running ultra marathons. We're here to take David Goggins' incredible mindset and turn it into a practical toolkit that you can use to absolutely shatter your limits in your professional life. So let's get right into it. So let me ask you a question. Think about that big project you've got, that tough negotiation coming up, or that career goal you've set for yourself. Are you really, truly giving it everything you've got? Most of us, we think we are, but the truth is, there's a huge reserve of potential that you haven't even begun to touch. You know, the story of David Goggins is just a masterclass in what's possible. This is a guy who went from a really traumatic childhood, weighing almost 300 pounds, to becoming a Navy SEAL and an elite endurance athlete. His journey is all the proof you need that we all have more in the tank. Today, we're going to unpack 3 of his most powerful tools to help you unlock that potential. Now, this number is pretty much the core of the entire Goggins philosophy. He believes that when your mind is screaming at you to stop, you know that feeling. When you're completely exhausted and tapped out, you're only at 40% of your true capability. Just let that sink in for a second. And that, of course, brings us to our very first principle, the 40% rule. This is not just some motivational catchphrase, okay? It's a mental framework for pushing right past those artificial limits we all set for ourselves. Here's the key thing to understand. Our brains are basically wired for comfort and survival. They send out that "I'm done" signal way, way too early, kind of like a defense mechanism. The 40% rule teaches us to hear that signal not as a stop sign, but as an invitation to push further and tap into that other 60% we're just leaving on the table. And I mean, Goggins is the living proof of this, right? To become a Navy SEAL, he lost over 100 pounds in less than 3 months and went through multiple hell weeks. He learned that when his body was screaming no, his mind could find a way to say yes. For you in your career, this is that moment you push through one more complex piece of code, or make one more sales call when you feel exhausted, or refine a presentation one last time. That's where the magic, the real growth happens. Okay, so you know you've got more in you. But how do you actually stop making excuses for not using it? Well, that brings us to our second principle, the accountability mirror. Now, this is all about brutal, uncomfortable self-honesty. This is not a pep talk. It's about literally looking yourself in the eye and admitting why a project failed, or what goals you've just let slide, and what excuses you're hiding behind. It's really the only way to take true ownership of your life. The process is simple, but it is not easy. First, you've got to honestly identify what's holding you back. Maybe it's a fear of public speaking. Second, you have to confront that truth without any sugarcoating. Third, and this is the hard part, stop blaming your boss or the economy or whatever. And finally, you own it. You decide what you are going to do about it, and you start right now. So once you're honest with yourself, you're going to need the mental strength to actually act on it. This leads us right to our third and final principle, building a calloused mind. Think about it like this. When you lift weights, your hands develop calluses to protect them, right? Well, your mind works the exact same way. By intentionally doing things you don't want to do, volunteering for that presentation nobody wants, having that tough conversation with an underperforming colleague, you build mental calluses. Your mind just gets tougher and way more resilient. Really, it all comes down to 2 different mindsets. You've got the comfort-seeking mind, which is kind of our default setting. It avoids challenges, and that leads to stagnation. It keeps you weak. Then you have the calloused mind, which actually seeks out discomfort because it knows that's where strength and resilience are built. The key word here is consistency. This is not about one big, heroic effort. It's about making the choice every single day to tackle something that's difficult. That consistent pressure is what builds that unwavering confidence and the mental strength you need to handle pretty much any professional challenge that gets thrown your way. So how do we put this all together? The 40% rule, the accountability mirror, and the calloused mind, they all point down one path, a total shift from a life of excuses to a life of deliberate, relentless action. So here's what it all boils down to. Use that accountability mirror to stop making excuses and start taking ownership. Face the challenges you've been putting off to build that calloused mind. And apply relentless effort by tapping into that extra 60% you know you have. At the end of the day, this is all about taking back control of your professional journey. Okay, so forget about everything else for just a moment and ask yourself this one simple question. What is the one professional wall, that task, that conversation, that goal you've been avoiding, that you are going to push past first using these principles? If you want to take action, move forward, and find more clients, you can book a free call with CT Marketing using the link below.